Welcome to The Trews. I'm here with Blindboy out of Rubberbandits.
Oh yeah, what's the crack?
How do you do? How do you do?
How do you do?
Yeah, well done for helping us keep it resurrected, keep that alive. What is the spastic hawk for? What is it? Is it allegorical?
Spastic Hawk. I have a song called Spastic Hawk, which is about the journey of a disabled bird of prey.
I got a hawkery, that's where you keep hawks. And in my hawkery, I have a special hawk. He's a spastic hawk. Spastic hawk. Spastic hawk. Spastic hawk.
And it is allegorical, but when I was writing it, I was in a state of flow, so it was like the song arrived in my head on the piece of paper, but only afterwards then I was able to look at it and see elements of myself in it. And as well, I was reading a book by a fella called, do you ever hear of Viktor Frankl?
I heard of him.
He's an existentialist, existentialist psychology, not philosophy, and he spent time in a...
Hawkery! That's a place where you keep hawks!
A concentration camp.
Different.
It's like a hawkery, except...
That's where you keep an oppressed minority.
That's where you keep an oppressed minority. But in my song, the Spastic Hawk is the repressed minority, and they repress him by labelling him as a spastic, but he reclaims that word.
Yeah.
And
the other hawks are oppressing him as well.
The other hawks are oppressing him, but overall, they are all oppressed by their lack of freedom.
And yet, when the opportunity came for that spastic hawk to get free, the uber oppressor, the person who owns the hawkery, I let him be free. You let him be free.
I let it, because my character realised, what am I doing with all these hawks in a cage? Why do I need to have these lovely free animals encaged for my enjoyment? Why do I need to be that person? So at that moment I let the little spastic hawk be free.
Well, as you know, we're analysing the Trews this week with you. Eton is rotten and lazy, says Prime Minister's wife. An extract from the diaries of a Prime Minister's wife has disclosed their frank opinions about the Conservative Party and Britain's leading public schools. What do you think about the private education system, Blindboy?
We kind of have it in Ireland. It's, from what I understand of it, it's over here, isn't it, a system whereby you keep people with money continually in power because all your buddies in power were people you went to school with, and that's how that top tier maintains power?
Yeah, it's a perpetuating hierarchical pyramid, is it?
Yeah. Well, any place where the best education comes from having money is never ever good.
It's not good, we've got to break down that system.
Or the Slender Man.
I saw this Slender Man, what's he about? I saw this online, do you know what
he's a scary man that has been created by the internet. It's almost like the first urban legend that's been created by the internet, and he's this freaky, tall, scary man who arrives in photographs with children, and then they create the myth that the child soon died afterwards when the... It's all bullshit, it didn't happen, but it's like
it's an internet engineered myth.
Yeah, but these two girls, unfortunately, in America, they used the myth of the Slender Man to justify killing a friend of theirs. And the problem there, of course, it is not the Slender Man, it is not the internet, it is not video games, it is not knives, it's mental health.
It's a mental health issue.
That's the problem. We need to look at mental health.
We need to, as long as these mental health issues exist, they will be projected onto whatever cultural apparatus is accessible. That is it,
exactly. But they don't like curing mental health because that's very, very expensive for a government.
Is it?
Well, it is. I mean, even if you want to if you give someone a pill for depression, that's quite cheap. But if you get someone 6 months of psychotherapy, that's very expensive. But they've proven, especially for depression, cognitive behavioural therapy is more effective than drugs. But people can't have access to that if they don't have money because it's too expensive for the government.
And I suppose you start pulling a thread that leads to, oh no, society is a cooperative where we need to be in coordination.
There has to be socialisation, yeah.
Yeah, and that's expensive, and that's like anti the kind of elitist ideas you were talking about earlier when you were saying about the education system being a self-perpetuating hierarchical structure.
That's it, exactly, yeah.
Thank you. Gave me this lovely book, didn't you? I'll just read. This is like, so we'll do a clever reading to wrap up the Trews. This is the introduction of the book. Our understanding of the universe as a whole has reached a dead end. The meaning of quantum physics has been debated since it was first discovered in the 30s, but we're no closer to understanding it now than we were then. The theory of everything that was promised for decades to be just around the corner. Where's your theory of everything? Oh, I'll be along in a minute. Has been stuck for decades in the abstract mathematics of string theory with its unproven and unprovable assertions, it says. But it's worse than that. Until recently we thought we knew what the universe was made of, but now it turns out that 96% of the universe is composed of dark matter and dark energy, and we've virtually no idea what they are. So the frontiers of mainstream science basically don't know nothing.
they haven't a clue, and the closer they look at things that are really, really small, quantum particles, the weirder it gets, and the more it flies in the face of what we understand in classical physics.
So in a way, the sort of the parameters of wisdom that we're at with conventional mainstream science is comparable to what's happening in sort of like flat Earth thinking and medieval religious
very
thinking.
Much so. That's actually it. There's something, especially when it comes to time. Our understanding of time as being the beginning and the end is our generation's flat Earth. Because if you put yourself back into the 13th century, the notion of the Earth being round is insane.
Yeah, because people go, it's flat, I can see it's flat.
Of course it's flat. What do you mean it's round? People would fall off. It can't be round because they didn't understand gravity as a force. But now we look back and it's like, yes, the world is round. That makes lots of sense. But not back then. And that's the same now. We need to understand time in particular.
Right. There's no such bloody thing as time.
No, there isn't.
So if we're worried about it, if someone says, say you're late for school or work, go, there ain't no such thing as late because time ain't even a concept, so you've got a lot more work to do than I have because I'm a little kid and I've already understood that. You're still baffled with medieval theories like time, by the way, the Earth's round, I knew that and all.
That's true.
Take the rest of the day off.
Take the rest of the day off. And by the way, your mother is also an illusion, and so is your desk.
Oh no! Hold on a minute, so if very basic things, like if we don't understand time, we don't understand matter, then we can really create a new world from our imaginations, and that world can be based on compassion and love and adulation and togetherness, can it?
I think that is a great way to lead your life and to look at the future.
That is some truth.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some trews. Let's have some trews.